The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
What's up, Bronx? We're episode number 4. It's Emerging Media Makers. We're back. Get comfortable. Stay with us. It's BronxNet, Emerging Media Makers. How are you? I'm your host, Bernardo Moronta, also programming manager here at BronxNet. This is Emerging Media Makers. We're spotlighting new and exciting programs on your BronxNet channels. This month, we check in with community producers Mary Van Rose from Healthy Living in the Bronx and Deirra Stevenson from the show called Deirra. We're going to learn more about their dynamic new shows. And we're also going to showcase a series of short films that really resonated with us here at BronxNet. We have, up first, Turn the Tables on the Famous, Mary Van Rose. How are you? Thank you so much.
Famous. Ooh, I like that.
I've heard a lot of good things.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I've heard super engaging, super talented, creative, all-around professional. I could go on and on and on and on with the famous Mary Van Rose. There you go. How does it feel?
It feels really good after completing one whole season in the midst of post-production for season 2, as it's currently airing right now. It's amazing. I love the feedback that we're getting from the community and the support of BronxNet, of course.
So let's get into like you as the person, right? So before we get into the nuts and bolts of the show. So I heard a rumor that you're an actress or have an acting history?
Yeah, so I'm a host, obviously, and a producer for our show, but I also do act. It's a territory that I'm re-entering because, you know, fear of the unknown, but it's something that I do thoroughly enjoy.
How do you feel that affects like your performance as a host and a producer? Does that help it or kind of?
It definitely helps it because I'm definitely looking into doing more improv. And there's moments on the show, as you know, when you host a show, there's times where you think it's gonna go a certain way or you think your conversation is gonna go one way and the guest might say something you were not expecting. So being quick on your feet is always a good skill to have.
Absolutely. Like if right now if you say like a random thing, what would I say?
Right. So what would you say? Like having a little bit of acting. I always say improv is something that everyone should like take up at least once.
Absolutely. How did you actually end up on TV? Take me through the whole story. Like, did you always want to be on TV? Did you always want to be a host and producer?
I've always had an interest in TV and media. I love storytelling in any capacity, hence the reason I also enjoy acting. So I went the normal route. Like I went to high school. Well, backing up a little bit, I actually went to performing arts school. I actually studied dance. Dance is like my first love. Actually, when I was little, my teachers would always say I didn't participate. I was really quiet. So dance was the first thing that allowed me to express myself. That's where I felt comfortable. That's where I felt my home was. And then over time, I started to like find my voice a little bit. I had certain teachers who really like helped push that out of me. And then I went to college. I've always wanted to do media and communications, but unfortunately my university didn't have it. And I didn't want to transfer because I made really good friends, and I majored in political science with a concentration in global affairs and human rights. Now that may sound like so far off, but it's really not, because like our show, Healthy Living in the Bronx, it's not a political show, it's all about health and wellness, but there are political components in understanding our greater society as a whole and understanding what the people need and what we're looking for. So in terms of art, I've always been into dance, I've always been into acting, and then taking my background in study of human rights and global affairs and putting that in a place of storytelling, I just feel like they're two powerful combinations.
So you're good with improvisation and you're good with dancing. So that means if I ask you right now to dance on the spot, it would happen? No,
I could choreograph a dance on the spot. Like I said, dancing is where I feel the most comfortable. I'm that person who will dance in a supermarket. I'll dance like just going to the grocery store. It doesn't matter to me. If it's a good beat, I'm dancing. Excellent,
excellent. What's your favorite music?
So my favorite music, I listen to everything. I know everyone says that, no, but if you go through my iPod right now, like I have like old, like 60s music, 70s music. I have like obviously new trap music. I love salsa. I love merengue. Like you have, or I even listen to country music. Like I have select artists that I like in country. Country's a little, I think the only genre that I'm not too big of a fan of is maybe heavy metal. It's like,
Oh, wow.
But I'll do like a little bit of rock too, but heavy metal is probably like, it sounds like someone's screaming at me. I don't want that.
So you said the magic words before, healthy living in the Bronx. That's your show that airs here on BronxNet.
Yes.
And we're going to take a look at a clip right now and come back and talk about it.
A lot of people that come in that see you, or even just people you talk to in general, millennials are facing that struggles. Like a lot of the struggles come from social media, stem from that as well?
It comes from the environment, and social media is a part of that. So again, if you're working in a culture that needs you to be on social media, encourages it, yeah, because I have clients that work with companies and brands that are international. So that means they can be on at 1 a.m. Eastern time or 4 a.m. Eastern time, depending on who their clients are. That's not good for your mental health because your brain needs time to repair and recover itself, which means it needs time off from technology, time off from decision making. You need time to just let your mind go into relaxation mode, recovery, and repair. But if we're constantly seeing that we have to check email and alerts and all of those things, then it's constantly sending signals to your brain to keep your mind active and thereby giving you overactive.
That's a clip from Healthy Living in the Bronx. It's on our new HD channel, BX Omni, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. right here on BronxNet. And we're here with the host and producer, Mary Van Rose. So in that clip, social media was mentioned. So I have a really good question for you. You ready? As a producer, you'll be proud of this question. I thought of it all myself. As a producer, how do you effectively market your show on social media while avoiding the pitfalls that contribute to unhealthy living?
Oh, that's a good one. So this episode was all about the effects of social media on our mental health. That woman, she's a phenomenal psychotherapist who has done amazing work throughout the country and is particularly focusing on the Black and brown community. But social media, our page, I'm really proud of it, Healthy Living in the Bronx on Instagram, has grown into a community. For me, and I mentioned this on the show, I'm just very strategic and very intentional about my social media use. I only go on when I know that I have something to post, and I immediately take myself off. And I give myself allotted times where there's certain people that I want to engage with, because social media gets a bad rap, you know. Yeah. It can be something where you can go down like the rabbit hole of comparing yourself, thinking that you're not in the best place in your life because everyone else is like going on vacations or buying homes or getting married and having babies. But I feel like the good part of it is that you can connect with people you might not have otherwise. So you just have to be intentional about your social media use. And like I said, for us, Healthy Living in the Bronx, Instagram, YouTube has been such an amazing platform for us to like build community. It's a community-based show.
So managing social media, your time on social media, that's one way that we can be healthy in the Bronx. What's another way that we can
like with social media?
So in general, like how can we be more healthy in the Bronx? Give the viewers some tips.
Yeah, so what we learned on the show, right? So one of the things that we focused on in the show is just being a bit more mindful in terms of your eating. I'm not a big person who believes in restrictions or like necessarily telling yourself you can't have something, but like our last episode that's gonna air in season 2, we had Wendy Lopez come on, who's a registered dietitian, very well known. Her organization has been featured in like O Magazine. She's just a really prominent voice in the community. She talks about intuitive eating and what that looks like. It means knowing your body and understanding what you need to fuel through the day. Something else that we talk about in the show in season 2 I'm really excited about is financial literacy. I think that's something in our community that we don't talk enough about. Absolutely. And it's something as simple as understanding what a saving account looks like and then learning what investment is. So like she talks on the show how you can, when you have like, let's say a standard corporate job, how investing in a 401k is super important. Because financial stress is some of the biggest stresses in our life. And if you're someone who doesn't believe in necessarily, let's say yoga's not your thing, just being active, going for a walk, going for a jog, boxing, just being more intentional about making sure you're prolonging the health of your life.
Thank you so much. Ms. Mary Van Rose, check her out on our new HD channel, BX Omni, that's Optimum 68 and Files 34, Wednesday nights at 8:30, right here on BronxNet. Thank you so much for making it over to the beautiful studios here at Mercy College. BronxNet East in the house. Coming up next, we got Deirra Stevenson right here on Emerging Media Makers on BronxNet.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo, is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
This is Emerging Media Makers. Welcome back. I'm Bernardo Moronta, Programming Manager here at BronxNet, and we are here with our second guest. It's Deirra Stevenson. Everybody, welcome her. How are you?
How are you?
Thank you so much for making it.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Oh, well, we appreciate you coming and talking to us about your show, Deirra,
Yes.
spelled D-E-I-R-R-A.
You got it.
But pronounced Deirra.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us about your background. Like, how did you come to us here at BronxNet? How were we so lucky to be graced by your presence here at BronxNet and your talents?
Right. So I really wanted to contribute to the world by bringing back that human connection that I felt was missing amongst the community. And in this world of social media, I think it's important to just check in with one another and be more authentic rather than just plain on social media, you know, that's it.
And how did you actually hook up with BronxNet? Like, what inspired you to become an access producer? Like, to take the course and graduate from the course? And
Yeah, well, I always was into TV, media production. I actually work in TV and film production.
Okay.
And I'm also a SAG-AFTRA actress.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've always been inspired by the media. And I said, why not take a Bronx Network course? And I've attended Lehman College as well for some courses. So I just really enjoyed my time there producing.
Oh, so you're SAG-AFTRA. Look at that. So have you done actual like acting work or?
Yeah, I would say I have. It all ends up blending together because I look at it as actual work. It looks fun, but it's very professional, a setting that you take really seriously, you know?
So Deirra airs on BronxNet on our BX Live channel. It's Optimum 70 and Fios 36. It's Friday nights at 8 o'clock, and we're going to check out a clip right now from Deirra.
Inspired me my whole entire life is my mother.
Wow.
Like, she is the person that I have seen, she was literally the only person that in my life growing up that I saw manage a household of 5 children on her own. She didn't seek government assistance. She didn't go running to relatives, asking them for help. She did everything that she could on her own. And I believe that it made me an independent person. It made me realize that I can do anything through God who strengthens me. It made me realize that if I have faith in who I am and what I'm doing, I will make it. And I just love the fact that my mother, like, throughout everything that she tried to do, she instilled in us, like, you know, respect, integrity, like, you know, being strong, being mindful of, like, what it is that you're doing. Like, we all graduated college. We all did what we had to do. Nobody is on, like, no offense to anyone who is on drugs, like, nobody is on, you know, any substance. Like, you know, we did everything to the best of our ability, and I commend her.
From the brand new show, Deirra. It airs right here on BronxNet, Fridays at 8 p.m. on our BX Live channel, Optimum 70 and Fios 36. We are here with the host and producer of the Deirra show, and strangely enough, her name is also Deirra.
There you go.
And she's right here with us. So in that clip, stylistically, I noticed that there was never really any cutting away from the guest. Is that really on purpose, or am I just kind of imagining that? Because I feel like you really, really hyper-focus on the guest, which is really, really good.
Right.
Talk about that.
So I wanted to be able to give my guests the platform to talk about their work and their industry, and that's what's mostly important to me. The show is not really about me. It's about giving people that voice to speak their mind and, like, the ups and downs in the entertainment industry, for example, which that episode was about. So
other episodes have dealt with mental health. You talked about an HBO show, I think it's Insecure. You had a whole episode about that.
Right.
You had an author on. You've talked about the entertainment industry. So it's a variety talk show.
Yeah, basically. I love to produce a variety of shows because this world is just amazing. And we had an independent writer who spoke about her book, and then Like you said, we had an episode about mental health and in the entertainment industry in particular, and someone from BT speak about like their experiences working in this entertainment industry and the pitfalls that could happen, but how you can like pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and get right back on track.
Excellent. What are the future shows going to be about? Like, are you going to continue along the same path of having so much variety, or are you going to eventually kind of stick to one thing, or is it like just going to stay free form? Or?
Right. I still want to produce a variety of episodes because, for example, one woman who works for hospice care, she actually sings music for people in hospice care, and she has a company, and I think that's important for people to know about in case they wanted to, you know, in case they wanted services provided for themselves or their loved ones. And that's a human connection that's so authentic, you can't like, really get away from that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So also in that clip, there was a mention of inspiration, right? So what is your inspiration? What brought you to the world of television and to the world of public access? What's your main inspiration if you had to pick one thing?
My inspiration is all of you guys, like that work in television and production. I've loved movies and I've loved music since I was a little girl. I couldn't escape it even when I tried to. So I'm inspired every day. Yeah. And
what are some tips you would give people that are watching at home and they're like, that looks cool, but like I'm afraid, right? Like I don't know. Like what would you say to that kind of person?
I think I was probably the most afraid person I've known, but I've done it anyway. And if you make a mistake, so what? And if you're not perfect at it, I feel like so what? Because no one else really is once they first get started. And I would just say go for it anyway. The trick is just to start.
And what would you say are the 3 most important factors for you to be successful as an access producer at BronxNet?
I think consistency and to continue to come up with authentic ideas and not necessarily have to follow a trend, and to not compare yourself and just be yourself.
Be yourself, that's it, be real, right?
Yeah.
Deirra, check her out, she's on BX Life, the BX Life channel, Optimum 70 and Files 36, and she airs on Friday nights at 8 o'clock right here on BronxNet. Thank you so much, Deirra. Show's not done, don't go anywhere. Right now we're gonna show you a special collection of short films that really impressed us here at BronxNet. Check this out right now on Emerging Media Makers.
As Gotham turned to his nightfall, this sunrise, despite y'all, the lights on, I'm finna black out. On any track, it overlap now.
If y'all do come close to me, he gon' wanna ride off in a ghost with me. I might let your boy show for me, but he gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Club going up on a Tuesday. Got your girl in the cut and she choosy.
Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, thinking how would I ever live without you by my side.
Voy a bailar, vivirme, la 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 la.
For all the times that you ran on my parade, and all the clubs you get in using my name. You think you broke my heart, oh boy, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying, no man, but lying.
Girl, you know I love you.
Como una flor, de tanto amor, me diste tú. Se marchito.
My name is WP, and I want the whole world to feel me, because I'm ready to break and I'm ready to gain history. Man, I've spread peace from just like the Dalai Lama. I'm ready to make a change, but I'm not like Obama.
I had no idea I had so much fear singing. No one can unring this bell and sound this alarm and break my heart new. And God knows I am dissonance, waiting to be swiftly pulled into two.
Seems like it was yesterday when I saw your face. You told me I knew like it was yesterday. Ooh, ooh.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
I've traveled the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.
Now don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Please, don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Been thinking. A lot lately about life. When I'll upgrade this cruddy computer. Oh, good Lord. Oh, come on. Why are these wires so tangled? Come on. How are these wires tangled? Seriously? Come on. Really? It's okay, boy. There's no reason to worry. Where am I? Hey, I'm new around here. You wouldn't happen to know where the nearest exit is, would you? T-Bone? Buddy? You there?
What do you think the American dream is? Do you believe in it?
I mean, I heard of like the white picket fence, a husband, a dog, 2 kids, but I mean, my definition of American dream is doing what's best for others, you know, so you could be at a, you know, a very happy place. But it doesn't have to be, you know, white picket fence, and it could just be however you wanted to imagine it.
Born and raised in the Bronx is a sentence many say proudly, but others hear differently. I see an organized maze and not a gridded block system. It feels free here and full of value. Creativity and creation is all around us. The way my environment has molded me pushed me to understand inner worth, self-beauty, and outer appreciation. I made it my obligation for others that don't feel this way to experience this feeling throughout my creative work. My name is Alex Rivera, owner and founder of The Bronxer, and I am 25.
That was awesome. We hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. And we thank you so much for tuning in to Emerging Media Makers on BronxNet today. I'd like to say thank you to our guests, Mary Van Rose and Deirra Stevenson, our director, Lou Biampica, our producers, Phil Lane and Audrey Duncan, associate producers, Leo Mary Rodriguez and Ramon Torres, creative services, and the team here at BronxNet East at the beautiful Mercy College. BronxNet provides training and classes to Bronxites so that they can tell the stories that are important to them. If you want to have your own show too, if you want to learn more about how you too can produce a program on BronxNet, simply go to BronxNet.org, BronxNet.org, click on Join Us, and then click on Produce Your Own Show. We look forward to seeing you in the studio soon. Until next time, Bernardo Moronta for BronxNet.